Hi everyone, Michael from Bullion Now, bullionnow.com.au. Well, it's been a really interesting week for precious metals, particularly silver, charging quite a ways ahead, and gold catching up for a change rather than the other way around. And it's been even more dramatic in US dollars than it has in Australian dollars, because I hesitate to use the term the Australian dollar has strengthened because it's not actually true. It's more that the US dollar has weakened. And so therefore, even though we've seen a large price rise in US dollar terms, the price rise has been a little bit more muted in Australian dollar terms because of that strengthening dollar, or weakening US dollar is more accurate. But we've had a lot of conversations about in the shop, particularly about, is this the new normal? Is it a jump? Is it a panic? Is it just going to jump up for now and ease back in prices and that sort of stuff? I'm going to leave the technical side of it to Joe, and I'll put in a link somewhere, or I'll get Joe to put in a link, I should say, somewhere around about there to his latest technical analysis. But more from a fundamental perspective, it's been really good in the market, and I use the market term very broadly, both on a local market level as well as an Australian market level. It's been quite refreshing to see that this is less of a panic. It's less of what we saw in what we saw in kind of March, April sort of time with that bigger jump in gold, was that panic of, I've got to buy it now, I've got to buy it at all costs because we're panicking. We don't know how the thing that we can't name is going to impact on economies. We think the world's going to hell in a handbasket. So it was a real panic movement, and we saw the price rise quite a bit, particularly in Australian dollar terms. And then once the panic subsided a little bit, we saw the prices eased back a fraction. Silver took a hit rather than actually increasing in price. Initially, silver took a hit and then it came back a little bit. This time round's been different. What we've seen is gold not do too much. It's maintained its strength. And then in the last 24 hours, I'm speaking on Friday the 24th, Friday the 24th of July. We've seen overnight in US terms, and it's continued into Australia, we've seen that strengthening of the gold price. But earlier on in the week, we saw that silver price really jump quite strongly, and it was more of a focused, thought through jump. The indications were that people, both on a worldwide basis and particularly on a local basis, people were actually making considered investments. Okay, I've got X amount of cash. I want to place it into the market. I'm not trusting the bank. I'm not trusting some of the shares and the normal things I'd go down. Property's looking a bit hairy at the moment. I want to take it into an investment that's going to give me a return, like as in a capital growth return. I can see that silver's got potential in the next 6 months, 12 months, 18 months, 2 years, 5 years, whatever the time frame is. And it's a very careful, considered investment, which is far healthier to see than those sudden spikes and sudden drops that we see when people start to panic. So it's showing very good, very early signs of a turn in the attitude of the market. It's the panic, the heat of the panic is coming out, and it's more that strength of investment that seems to be moving into the market. So hopefully that gives people some confidence to actually take a position, or if they've got a position, to hold that position and not bail out at the first turn of a profit, because the indications are, and I'm not giving financial advice. We all know I'm just a mug punter at the end of the day that happens to work in a bullion company. I'm not offering financial advice, but it looks like that market, that attitude has turned from panic into considered investment. And people and the market is starting to actually place these larger and larger investments into the market with the confidence that we're going to see that growth over the longer term. One of the really, really good things that we did see was that gold-silver ratio come back a little bit, where we were kind of hovering around the high 90s to 1. So for every 1 ounce of gold that you bought, you'd get about 95 to 100 ounces of silver. We had that blow off earlier on in the year where it actually jumped to 127 to 1, but it seemed to settle back around about that 95 to 100 mark. That's now eased right back to 80 to 85 to 1. So for every ounce of gold that you've got, you're getting kind of that 80 to 85 ounces of silver in the price. So as a suggestion, I'm certainly not telling you what to do, but as a suggestion, if you have played that gold-silver ratio over the last few months, it might be an idea to start thinking about taking some of those profits. And again, I'm not telling you to do it, but just have that conversation with yourself about, I might have converted at that 100 to 1, or if you're really lucky, up above that 127 to 1. It's not a bad idea just to think about considering taking some profits and converting some of that silver that you bought at that 120 to 127 mark to 1, maybe converting some of that back into gold. And I'm sure, I know at Bullion Now, we can certainly help you with that. And I'm sure your local bullion dealer, if you're not in Melbourne, can also help you with that transfer. And if not, give us a call, 1300 84 84 10, or send us an email, sales@bullionnow.com.au, and we'll help you where we can. So that's all I wanted to say, was just to get a video out to say it's great to see that growth finally happening. But what's really good, what's really, really good, is to actually see that it's considered growth. There seems to be a very conscious effort to go to those investments rather than the panic scramble that we saw earlier on in the year of dumping silver and grabbing gold just because it's gold, and I'm freaking out. All right, that's all for now. Like I said, have a look at Joe's, and again, I'll try and get him to link it here. Joe's video on the I've forgotten the term, the charts and all that sort of stuff. So get him to get chance to review that, because Joe's got some really good information on that, and technical analysis. That's the word I was looking for. It's Friday afternoon. Sorry guys, I'm just about brain dead. Have a look at that technical analysis of Joe's. Look, none of it is financial advice, but we put it out there to stimulate thought and to stimulate conversation. So as we go into the weekend, have a think about it. Have a think about your investments, what you're holding, and what you'd like to buy into as the coming days and weeks of the rest of the year. All right, that's it for now. Talk again soon. See ya.